Okay, this is one of the most useful sections in all of IXL because for standardized testing, a very, very common word problem that you're going to face is proportionality. Solving proportions in word problems is probably one of the most useful. So we're going to do that today, and we're going to set up proportions. So it says 6 centimeters, 6 centimeters can be used to wrap 3 presents. And we want to know how many presents, now that's our X, or P if you like, but I'm going to go ahead and use X, can be used with 16 centimeters of tape. Now, one of the things I did on purpose was I wanted to show you something. When I put my units on there, did everybody see that I put centimeters and I put the X right on top? Now, that's not going to work because the 3 is in the presence and the X is with the presence. And you have to write your ratio in the same way. So I want to make sure that that's perfectly clear. So what I'm going to do is I am going to write X presence, and that's why I put my units. If you want, you can put PR for presence. And in the numerator, I have 16 centimeters. You want to make sure that your ratios line up. And by putting in units, you can do that. Now you can cross multiply. 16 times 3 is equal to 6x. And we can divide by 6 on both sides to solve. And I could multiply the 16 times 3 and then divide by 6, which is 8. You can do this in pieces. 3 goes into 6 2 times, and into 3 once, and 2 goes into 16 8 times. Either way, we get X is equal to 8 presents. Now, you might want to kind of check to see if it makes sense. If there's half as, if you use 2 centimeters for each present, then we expect that 16 centimeters of tape is going to be okay for 8 presents. 6 kilometers and 2 trips. Now I could have just as easily written it the other way. I could have just as easily put 2 trips on top and 6 kilometers on the bottom. You want to put things that match up together. Now, how many trips? That means that we're talking about X trips. And 18 kilometers. Here's a shortcut if you see it right away. 6 times 3 is 18. I'm going to put parentheses instead of an X. And 2 times 3 is 6. So this is 6 trips. We could have just as easily cross-multiplied and solved for our X. There are 15 quizzes over 3 weeks. And we want to know 20 quizzes in X weeks. And we could cross multiply. That's 60 equals 15x. And x, when we divide by 15, gives us 4. So this is 4 weeks. Eight souvenirs over 2 days vacation. How many days before she will have 20 souvenirs? And hopefully you can see it's going to be 10. 8 is to 2. That means she's going to get 4 per day. So it's going to take 5 days to get 20. But I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply it just to make sure I don't make a mistake. 8x is equal to 40. And when we divide by 8 on both sides, we get our 5. And that is 5 days. We can see the unit rate is 4 souvenirs per day. And so it takes 5 days to get 20 souvenirs. 10 minutes for 2 phone calls means that we're doing 5 minutes per call. And it says if he routes 4 phone calls, we've obviously multiplied by 2, so it's going to be 20 minutes. All I did was multiply by 2 in the numerator and denominator, and that is another way of getting your solution by getting equivalent fractions or equivalent ratios. 8 liters in 4 days. This is an L. And we have 10 days. Now there's no direct multiplication. It's actually 2.5. And I could multiply by 2.5 and get, looks like 20. And this is 2 over 1, and 20 over 10 is the same proportion. But I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply. This is in liters. How much jam? Yes. So 4x is equal to 80, and we divide by 4, and we get x is equal to 20 liters of jam. Be careful, they may change the units on us on some of these problems. 54 kilometers over 27 weeks. And we want to know how many weeks, and 68 kilometers. Hopefully you can see why I use my units in here. We can cross multiply, but don't multiply these. 68 times 27. I know some of you are going to want to grab your calculator and just do it that way. It's a lot better to practice your number sense. Divide by the 54, and 9 goes into 54 6 times, and 9 goes into 27 3 times, and 6 goes, let's see, divide 3 into 3 and 3 into 6, and 68 divided by 2 is 34. We can also see that 27 is half of 54, and 34 is half of 68. So this is 2 over 1. And we could have simplified this before we ever started. We could have said this is the same as 2 over 1, and it would have been a lot easier, wouldn't it? Divide this out, and we cross multiply, and it works out as well. $80 liters in 4 days. Sorry, I said 80 liters in 8 days. And that is the same as 10 liters in 1 day. And how many days? So that's X days for 90. And we have to multiply by 9, and we're done. In that case, I was using the unit rate. We could have also cross multiplied and solved it that way. We have 49 cookies with 7 scoops, which is the same as 7 cookies per scoop. And how many scoops of flour for 56 cookies? And we multiplied by 8 to get to 56. So we have to multiply by 8 to get to X scoops. $14 kilograms of dough after working 2 hours is the same as 7 kilograms per hour. How much dough in 12 hours? We multiplied by 12, so we have to multiply by 12. That is 84. It's a lot of dough. $30 minutes in 10 phone calls means that we're talking about 3 minutes per 1 phone call. And we want to know the number of phone calls in 36 minutes. And we had to multiply by 12 to get there. 36 plants and 6 seed packets. That means we're having 6 plants per seed packet. How many seed packets are needed to get 48 plants? We had to multiply by 8. So we have 8 seed packets. One 38 plants. 6 seed packets. When we divide that by 6, we get 23 plants per 1 seed packet. Must be little seeds. How many seeds does she need for? I'm gonna have to move myself out of the way here. Oh, maybe I gotta go down. Come here. There we go. 1449. And in order to get to 1449 from 23, you're going to have to multiply by 7, aren't we? Nope. Well, let's put it in. I can cross multiply. 23x is equal to 1449. And of course, I'm dividing by 23. Solve it. And this goes in 7 times. That's 152. No, 161. That's not right. So it's going to have to go 6. 6 times 23 is 138. We subtract and you get 69, which happens to go in 3 times. So we're talking about 63 seed packets that we need. I know some of you are going to want to grab your calculator, and that's okay. Use it when you need it, but when you don't, probably better to go without. 1976 points for 13 coins. We can reduce this. 13 goes in there. 1 into 67. 13 into 67. Let's divide it. Might as well get my division out of the way. 13 into 67, 5 times. There we go. And we have 26 left. So 152. Points per 1 coin. And we want for 17 coins. So we obviously multiplied by 17. And 152 times 17. A lot of multiplying here. That is going, sorry, I got in the way here. It's out of the way for you. I'll just put myself back up here again. Maybe a little higher this time. Nope, covers up that question. Put myself down in the corner and then I'll just remember not to write down there. All right, so that's going to be 2, 4, 1, 6, 3, 1, 0, 152. And we got 2584, 2584. Mm-hmm. 2289 pages over 21 hours. That's a lot of reading, apparently. 34 hours of reading. And we want X pages. This is one of those cases where, yeah, go ahead and grab the calculator. I'm going to go ahead and do it by hand, but you don't need to. I'm going to go ahead and simplify this. 21 into 2289 goes 1, 09. So we get 109 pages per hour. Pretty fast reader. and that's x over 34. And we have to cross multiply, so 34 times 109. That is 6 and 3 and 4 and 0 and 7 and 2 and 3. That's a 2. Darn, I can't get to it. Okay, that's 3, 6, no, 3, 7, 0, 6, 3706. $105. Books over 15 months. Reduces, 15 goes in there 61 times. No, 7 times, dummy. 7 books per 1 month, and we want 18 months. And we cross multiply and we get x is equal to 7 times 18 is 6, carry the 5, that's 126 books in 18 months. Boy, that's pretty good. If you could get that many done. 126. $327 calories per 3 granola bars. If we reduce that, that's 109 calories per 1 granola bar. That's our unit rate. How many granola bars? For 545. And we multiplied by 5, didn't we? $484 for 44 attendees. That means that they are paying, 44 goes in there 11 times. And 858. So 11x is equal to 858. Divide by 11. And we're going to get 7 something. Make sure I'm not writing on myself. That's 7. That is 78. No, 88, isn't it? 78. A little hard to see that one. 78 attendees. $12.81 to 61. And we want 86 guests. 61 goes in to 21 times. That's $21 per 1 guest. And if there are 86 guests, we have to multiply. Let's go ahead and just do 86 guests. And we want to know how much money it costs. So we have x is equal to $21 times 86 guests. And 86 times 21 is 6 and 8 and 0 and 2 and 1 and 17. 1806. That's a pretty expensive birthday party. 1806. Okay, 7.1 kilogram or 7.16 kilograms. Looks like we're going to deal with some decimals here. Per 4 hours. Let's go ahead and reduce that. Divide that by 4, and it goes in 1.29 times. Just doing a quick division here. 4 into 7.16. I'm just dividing it. Goes in 1. That's 3 left over. Goes in 7. That's 3 left over. Goes in 9. And did I mess that up? I sure did. 7. Good to check. Wow. 1.79. Sorry about that. And it's 1 per 1 hour. Good to check. We want 10.74. And x. In this particular case, I could probably estimate that it's probably going to be 6 if I had to guess. And it's probably going to work out well. I have 1.79. X is equal to 10.74. And we want 6. I'm going to go ahead and multiply it. 1.79 times 6 and see if it works. That's 4. 5, 7, 4, 10, 74. And sure enough, it does. That would be 6 hours. $8.7 liters in 6 days. We can divide that. Can we simplify that? Maybe. No, it doesn't reduce evenly. So we want 10.15 liters in X days. And I would say 8. If I had to guess, if I had to estimate this, I would say this is pretty close to 9 to 6 and 10 to 8 maybe. We'll go ahead and multiply those. That's going to be 60.9. Is it 69 or 60.9? I better multiply it on the side. 10.15 times 6, 0, 9, 60.9 is equal to 8.7x divided by 8.7. And we want to know 8.7 times 6. 6 times 7 is 2. 452. So it must be 7. 9 and 4 and 60.9. Sure enough, it goes in 7 times. This is one of those cases, I'm saying go for the calculator. No, occasionally it is helpful. 14.9, $14.90 for 10 attendees. Obviously, that's $1.49 each. And it's going to cost $16.39. Attendees. This is really close to 1.5, and this is really close to 15, just like this one is. If we multiply by 10, how many more do I need? I'm going to need 2 more to get to 1639, aren't I? Can y'all see what I mean? For $14.90, if I add 2 more attendees, that is $2.98. That's 10 attendees and 2 more attendees. And we're looking at 17, wait a minute, that's too much. Oh, only one more. $1.49, only one more attendee. And then we're going to get $16.39, which means that we're talking about 11 attendees. Almost made a mistake there. Only needed one more. 9.9 kilometers for 6 trips. Let's go ahead and reduce that. Doesn't reduce really nice. We could divide it by 3. Let's divide it by 3. That's going to give us 3.3 kilometers for 2 trips. That way it's at least reduced. And we want 8 trips. So we multiplied by 4. And when we multiply by 4, we're going to get our solution in X kilometers. And that's going to be 13.2. All I did was multiply the 3.3 times the 4. That's 2, carry the 1, that's 13, and a decimal place. Hmm. 3.88 miles over 2 practices means that we're doing 1.94 miles per 1 practice. And we have to get 9 practices. So we're multiplying by 9. That is 6, carry the 3. That's 4, carry the 8. That's 17.46 miles. $25.38. 25.38 kilograms per 3 hours. See if we can divide the 3 in there. 3 goes in there 8 times, goes in there 4 times, goes in there 6 times. That's 8.46 kilograms per 1 hour. And we want 5 hours. So we're going to have to multiply by 5 in the numerator and denominator. And I'm going to do a double in half here. I'm going to take half of this, which is 4.23, and double this one is 10. And when I multiply that, 4.23 kilograms times 10 is 42.3. If you want to see it, I can multiply it over here. 8.46 times 5 is 0, carry the 3, 3 carry the 2, and 42, and 2 decimal places. 42.3 kilograms. Maybe 2 more, hopefully just one more, but who knows. 10.6 liters in 2 days is the same as 5.4 liters in 1 day. That's an L. And we want to multiply by 8 to get our 8 days. So that's going to be 43.2. Oh no. 3 times 8 is 24, not 32. Okay, fine. Gotta do my check. 8.6 over kilometers in 13 trips. 13 into 15.86 goes 1. I have a 2 remaining. I have a 2. 2 remaining. I have a 2. That's 1.22 kilometers per 1 trip. And I have to multiply by 15. If you like, you can set it up as a proportion. You can solve it. Might want to grab a calculator because I'm getting real tired myself. 1.22 times 15. I could do my double in half. I could take half of this one and double that one. That is 0.61 times 30. And I get the same thing. That's 0, 3, 18. Move it 2 places. But I could do this in 2 pieces. Oh, you can't see it, darn it. 61 times 30 is 18.30. I could multiply it. That's 0, carry the 1. That's 1, carry the 1. That's 6. That's 0. 1, 2, 2. That's 1830. $2.56 per 2 cups is $1.28 per 1 cup. And we want to change it to 1408. And we want to know how many cups. So basically, we want to know what do we have to multiply by 1.28 to get 14.08. It might be even easier to get from here to there, which is being multiplied by, it looks like 8. No, by, I'm not seeing it. Okay, that is 1.28x is equal to 14.08. Divide by 1.28. Move my decimal over 2 places. We're talking about 128 into 1408. Goes in once. And that is 128, 11 times. And that would be 11. $15.92 kilometers for 4 trips. 4 goes into 15.92, 3.98 times. And we want it to be 39.8. Clearly, we multiplied by 10, so that would be 10 trips. $29.30 for 10 attendees. Means that each attendee is charged $2.93, an odd number, for 1 attendee. And we want to know how many, how many attendees for $43.95. So I'm dividing 293. I'm going to ignore the decimals. And move the decimal over 2 places, 43.95. Goes in once, 293. We subtract, we get 461,465, and it looks like it's going to be 5 times, isn't it? Yes, it is. That would be 15 attendees. And when we divide by the 293, we get x is equal to 15 attendees. One or two more. Okay, 12 miles in 10 practices is the same as 6 miles in 5 practices. And we want to change it to 43.2 miles in X practices. So we have to cross multiply. That is going to be let's see. It's 215, 216 is equal to 6x, and we divide by 6, and x is equal to 36 practices. One more. Let's see if I can get this one right. 2760 over 24 guests. And we want to change it to 29 guests. So 24x is equal to 2760 times 29. And we're just cross multiplying, we're dividing by 24. Well, 29 happens to be a prime number, which means it has no common factors. We can put 3 into 2760, and we can put 3 into 24. That gives us 3 into 24 goes 8 times, and 3 into 2760 goes 920, and 8, let's go ahead and multiply those and then divide. 920 times 29, that's going to be 0.882, 0.418, 0.8662, 2 decimal places. So 266.8, and we are dividing by 8. 8 goes in 3 times, 3 times, 3 times, 5, 33, 35. This is one of the few cases where if I were you, I might just grab a calculator to double check my work. I'm going to hope it's right. And it is. I highly recommend keeping a calculator on hand for these particular problems. The decimals didn't work out as nice as they could, so a calculator would be helpful on this one. Hope you all have a better time than I did. Good luck. Have a good day.